Today, I'm going to get incredibly rich by making gladiators fight to the death. I just need to buy enough of them. Now, it wants me to buy a chariot already. I don't think so. I want gladiators for now. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to be here clicking this thing for a while. But I'm up to 90 swords per click already, and every time I buy a gladiator, that number goes up. So now we're up to, I don't know how many, 138 per click. I kind of wish that wasn't in the way so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, 150 swords per click. I assume we're killing other gladiators and taking their swords, but now we've got 1,000 swords, so now we'll buy a chariot. And to buy a chariot, we happily have to sacrifice some of the gladiators. We have 30 currently. We lose 10 every time we buy a chariot. Now, our goal is to get 25 chariots, so we're going to need more gladiators. So I see how this works. We're going to buy as many gladiators as we possibly can right now, not bothering to buy in quantities of more than one because I'm stupid. Then we'll make them fight to the death, which is going to get us 200 swords per click, and we're going to make that number get really big. And this whole time, because I control the universe, I'm producing 1 human per second, which we also need. It's a type of currency, just like in real life. Okay, we're going to turn this number up to 50%, so we spend 50% of our money at a time. Or 50% max buy. Whatever the case, we're now getting 627 swords per click. Then I've just changed to max buy, so we click on him. Now we can buy another 20 gladiators. Now we make even more per click. There's probably much better ways to be doing this, but I've had so much coffee, I don't care. I'm just enjoying the clicking. There's officially 10,000, another 28 gladiators. Now we're getting even more per click, but we have 250 gladiators. Now, we already own 6 chariots, so I only need to buy another 19 to hit our quest goal, so I'm going to go ahead and do that because I want to unlock more stuff. Okay, we're going to claim the reward, which is 2,500 weapons. So now we're at 17,000 because I was already rich. Now I need to collect 5,000 weapons. Yeah, let's see if I can afford that. What does one of these get me now? A billion? We're getting 250 per click, so we're only going to have to click about 20 times. Whatever the case, mission complete. Give me the swords. So if I want, I can buy another 50 chariots now. So every time I click on this, I'm going to get even more gladiators, which is going to give me even more swords. So now I'm getting 1,440 per click at the top. I can see this getting really addictive. This might take a lot of coffee.
Lord have mercy.
And all we need is this many chariots for our next reward, which is experience. So we get to rank up and hopefully we get to own a new type of person. By ranking up, we get like a jet, which is a little bit beyond gladiators, but that's fine. Okay, it's a pod with items in it. My mistake. 35 experience and a new man. So the man we found was Spartacus. He automates things and gave us a 2 times boost to gladiators. So now the gladiators are going all by themselves, but we basically just prestiged. And I'm okay with that because now things do it by themselves really, so I don't hardly even have to be here. But we're just going to restart the process. So in order to unlock the next step, we need that many gladiators. Now we start buying chariots, which are going to boost the number of gladiators. And because we once again earned 25 gladiators, we got another reward, which gives us the second part of Spartacus, because the first half wasn't good enough. Then we can use that to level up our heroes. So I think that just boosts their production. Permanent upgrade. ×2, ×4, speed of gladiators. So we'll probably collect more heroes later. For now, I need to remember to keep clicking on the chariot thing, simply because I forget. We got some more experience out of the helmets. We're going to go ahead and buy another 16 chariots now to make sure we're getting lots of soldiers in return. Might as well buy the chariots instead of the gladiators at this point because we're starting to stack up the number of them pretty quickly. We can already buy another 40, which is going to complete the next task, which gets me the arena. And also 5,000 swords is a reward. And then we can use all those swords to increase our population growth. We're now getting 2 people per second, which we can spend on other hilarious things. Time to buy our first arena. That takes 50 chariots. That's very expensive. It would be nice if these were automated too. Can I get that? I cannot, so I'm just going to sit here clicking. I'm going to buy another 30 chariots, which is going to eat through some of my soldiers, but the chariots are going to replace those. But things are being produced fairly quickly. I can already buy another arena if I want to. It's mostly going to be a problem with keeping up with swords. But the arena does give me lots of chariots, so I'll be able to use those to buy more stadiums, which produce chariots. Like I can already buy another 64 chariots if I want, which means 2 more arenas. So now every time I do this, I'm going to get, I believe, 25 chariots. So I only need to click that twice to buy another arena. So my next challenge now is to buy 5 more arenas. I can buy another 2 already, so that's going to be a big boost. Every time our arena finishes now, 35 chariots. So now I've got 4,200 gladiators, so I have 1.2 million swords. Now the thing to remember here is swords are the most base currency. That's what we really need the most of ultimately. But there's another 3 arenas, so we get our next reward. So we're going to smash that thing open and then we get a new hero. This one has a horse, which means our chariots are driving themselves. I no longer have to touch it. But our next challenge is simply collecting 5 million weapons. That's not going to be super hard, especially when I can buy a whole bunch more gladiators like this. But the fastest way at this point to do anything is just going to be to buy as many arenas as I can, because that'll give me more chariots, which will give me more soldiers and more swords. But we're already making tons of swords. We have 5.4 million in total. We need to collect another million, which won't take more than a few seconds because I'm filthy rich. And if I want, I can spend another 5 million swords to increase my man production. So we're now producing 3 people per second. And someone's going to be really happy about the amount of people I can sacrifice now. So I need to rank up for the next mission, which I think is actually possibly going to restart me. I did get new heroes though. Saint Benedict permanently automates and speeds up monks, and Joan of Arc, extra resources. Plus I got another relic, tons of experience. My horse guy got an upgrade, and I think we got Caesar. Julius Caesar gives a 2x power boost to all Bronze Age relics. So that's pretty fun. We just started again, but we're making 6 swords per 1 gladiator now. So if you buy another 30 of them, it should be 180 per whatever. Okay, it's 234 because I don't understand that fully, but we can also upgrade this guy and his horse. So that means the chariots are being produced ever faster all by themselves. So we're basically just going in a super prestige cycle. So we're going to spend a lot of soldiers right now buying another, say, 15 chariots. And that means every time the chariot finishes, we get 250 more soldiers. But as I buy another 10 chariots, we now get considerably more soldiers, 328 every second. And I only need to own 50 chariots to be able to unlock the stadium again, so we're going to do that. Alright, then let's upgrade that one more time so we're producing more people. Okay, we're going to buy 70, 80 chariots right now just to give ourselves a little boost. That way we can buy 3 arenas, and that's just going to roll backwards into more stuff at the bottom. Because the arena does still cost 50 chariots, so we need to be able to produce those. But every click now gets us enough to buy a new arena. I think it's time we reinvest a little bit though. We got $22 million, so let's buy 135 gladiators, which is going to add up to a lot of new stuff. Let's buy 31 chariots, and then we're able to buy 3 arenas. Once this counts down, we might be able to buy more. So now every time the arena counts down, which takes 5 seconds or something, we get 90 chariots, plus now it goes even more. The challenge currently is to own 100 arenas. We're going to get there fairly easily. But to unlock the medieval age, we need 50 billion swords. I think we're going to be able to get there. We've already got 50 million. Plus, we have 85,000 gladiators to our name, so they're making a ton of swords constantly. We just need to keep going with that arena production. So now every time that counts down, it takes 7 seconds, we get 300 chariots, which gets us basically 6 more arenas, so that just keeps growing and growing on itself. Plus, there's 320 people on the entire Earth, so I'm not sure why they need a million swords, but I like it. And there's another 20 arenas, and we're up to 230 million swords. Make that 240 million. We're producing really quick. So there's another 14 arenas. Every time I click that now, it's a huge number. And 17 arenas. There's our next reward. And because I'm amazing, I get a free capsule, which hopefully has something to make the arena go by itself. I don't know if that makes the arena go by itself. I have enough copies to level up Julius Caesar. It would just be nice if he could actually do something for me. I guess he does. He powers up everything. I just want him to automatically do my arena. But I don't have him yet. Some of these are rarer than others. Abraham Lincoln is historic. That's fine, but now we are so powerful that every time we click the arena, we get 2,000 chariots, which is going to turn into 41 arenas. But I really like where this is going, because now we're up to 3 billion swords, and it's only been like a minute. And things basically feel like they're producing faster than I can even keep up with at this point. We're now making about 1 billion swords every second, which is pretty impressive work. I can even buy the arenas now. We're producing chariots so quick before like the arena's even done. And we're coming up on the 50 billion swords we need. Yeah, we're making well over 1 billion per second now. Claim reward. Please be an arena hero. I think that's him. And we've got enough medieval weapons, or enough weapons to unlock the medieval age. So we'll do that, and now we're dealing with monks. But then that Shumi and everything here is running itself rather nicely. We're just going to upgrade whatever his name is. And then they're going to gather me some experience here very slowly. We're now making like 3 billion swords per second. So we'll just let them do that for a little while. Now, as for these monks, they produce scrolls. They take a little more to buy. They're not super cheap. They take 2 people and 10 papers. I would not trade those for a monk in real life, but that might depend on the particular monk. So all we got to do is buy 25 of these, and then hopefully we can send them to the gladiators where they can use their 50 billion swords on them. Now for doing this, we're going to get 60 papers, which means we can buy 6 monks. We do it again, we should be able to buy more 9 monks. which gives us another barrel of nothing rare, but there's a guy with a beard. Okay, so we can now buy 100 monks at a time. And that means we can use that to buy one chapel, because the chapel costs 1,000 papers. And I wanted to come back and see what was going on over here. Should we buy another 300 arenas? We might as well. That's a huge boost of production. Plus, we have 3.6 trillion swords now, so that number is going to get really big the more I mess with it. Oh, we can produce more people if we sacrifice some of our papers. Okay, then we're going to upgrade the hero here, apparently, so he's going to make the monks move faster. Then I'm going to buy 12 chapels, and they're going to produce more monks. They now produce 70 every 6 seconds when I remember to actually click on it. Not that our monk production is particularly slow, but you can just never have too many monks. I'm even going to buy some more here to make sure they're producing for themselves adequately. But I guess the chapel is the best way to do it. It's a monk spawner. Just like in real life, they just pop out of these things, no energy required.
Who doesn't love monk jam?
Okay, the paper production is looking pretty good. We're at about 500 per second, maybe closer to 1,000, but you get the idea, it's pretty good. So we're just going to keep generating humans as quickly as we can, then buying chapels, and then we're going to just repeat that process until we unlock whatever's next. We're also going to spend 5 trillion swords on people production, so we're now producing 7 people per second. So we're definitely producing paper very quickly. I just need to stack up a few of these monks and then we'll let some of the paper build up. So we're now getting like 4,000 papers per second. After this touches down, that's probably going to about double. 7,000 papers per second and 10,000 papers per second. Let's go supervise these to make sure they're behaving. So we're going to increase our production by about 30%. So we're making 133 billion swords every second. So we're just going to keep making sure this stays building itself up. There's another 150 arenas. That means we have over 2,000 arenas. Then going back to check on my beautiful monks, we need 1 million scrolls. So we're just going to keep going this. Actually, we're going to buy another 50 chapels. And then when that touches down, we're going to get a big bonus. Every time we do this now, we get an extra 1,100 monks, which gives us a massive increase to the amount of paper they produce. So much so, in fact, that we just hit our reward. So we got the horseman with a better power up, and we get to rank up now, which means we get Florine of Burgundy, probably pronounced that wrong, and Charlemagne, plus whatever's in his capsule, another old man with a beard, a woman, and some experience. Okay, I didn't realize when I did that it would restart the entire thing, so I'm back to producing swords and gladiators again. Not that that's a big deal, because we're going to go through this really, really quick.
Moments later.
And look at that production go. This is getting absurd. So there's 100 arenas, so that's going to put our production up. But now we can buy roads too.
It actually looks like bacon, but it's a road.
To buy a road, we need 10 billion swords. So, okay, we already could afford that because we're richer than I thought. Okay, we're producing 1 billion swords a second, so that's not as bad as I thought. But then every time we do the road, we're going to get 50 arenas, which is definitely lots. Okay, in order to kind of expedite this, I'm going to buy about 500 arenas right now, which means I could buy 5 roads, which means every time I do this now, I get 200 arenas back. Then I can buy another 2, so yeah, we're going to keep going with that. Every time I do that, 240 arenas. So the roads are going to make more arenas, which make more chariots, which make more soldiers, which make more swords. That's what we're really here for. The chapel still doesn't run by itself. For all the monks we have, they're not very good at kind of managing themselves. But I will help them get going by clicking on them a few times, then I'm going back to making bacon roads. We've unlocked knights. Maybe before we get too carried away with that, let me buy just a few more of these guys. That way everyone's producing what we need. Then I'll come back to buy the knights because they take 1 million papers. That'll take about 10-15 seconds to do under the current circumstances. But I did just get the hero I need to automate the chapels, so that's pretty good. They'll go by themselves. So now this area is producing everything I need. All those guys also got an upgrade. So we can buy a knight. Now every time we count that down, we're going to get 24 chapels, which is going to add a lot of monks, which add even more paper. But coming back to medieval land, we can buy another 5 roads if we want to, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to take a moment to increase our bacon roads a whole lot, so we're producing more swords again. Because we're currently making 120 billion swords a second, and that number's growing, but the more times I click the bacon road, the more swords we're going to make. So after touching down there, yeah, we're up to 140 billion a second. And our people production is up to 13 per second, coming up to $200 billion a second, so we're making about 1 trillion swords every 5 seconds. But that's still not really good enough for me, so we're going to buy more bacon roads, and that's going to double the amount we have, more than double the amount we have. Now we're producing 800 arenas every 16 seconds, which translates into billions and billions and billions of swords. The bacon road is about to touch down. Once it does, that's going to give us a total of 3,000 arenas, So we're going to let these guys run for a bit. They're up to about 500 million swords per second anyway. I'll check in on them in a while. I need more chapels to be able to afford more knights. So let's just go ahead and do this a quick way for a sec. Then we're going to buy 13 knights, and then we click on this. And then in 12 seconds, we're going to get 180 chapels back while we're waiting. We got more of these guys, neither of which are an upgrade. So our next challenge is 5 billion papers, and we need 100 roads total. But these guys are producing now 3 million papers per second. When you buy more knights, that number's only going to start to go up. If we spent all of our funding right now, we could get about 400 chapels, or we could just click on this twice and get a bigger amount. Okay, the knights now have given me 1,000 chapels in total. We'll let them run by themselves for a bit while we come back here and click on the Bacon Road. This is just very satisfying because I can buy another 31 roads if I want to. That's going to double my arena production. So we did just sacrifice some arenas to get there, but now we can produce them faster back. And things just keep growing like that exponentially. We spend it, then we buy it, we earn it back, we do it again. We have $175 trillion now. So we just need to keep getting bigger and bigger numbers everywhere. So let's buy another 80 roads, which basically doubles their production again. So every time we click on them, we get 4,500 arenas, which translates into many, many trillions of swords. Because currently the arenas are producing 91,000 chariots every 2 seconds. And we can make that number get 10 times as big in a short amount of time. And that is significant because we only have 11 million chariots total right now. So we could turn that into 100 million if we wanted to. And because we produced another 250 trillion swords, we get another reward, which should be lots of heroes, which is more upgrades, so everything gets faster again. Okay, then we're going to double our Bacon Road yet again. We're going to more than double it. So now every time we click on that, we get 10,000 arenas. And now we've earned 1.1 AS. Also known as $1.1 quadrillion. Though that's now 1.2 because we're just earning a lot of stuff. Okay, Bacon Road touchdown again, so we're going to buy another 750 roads, which over doubles our production of itself again. So now every 16 seconds or whatever it is, we get 30,000 arenas. We currently have 38. So those 38 produce 760 chariots. After touching down once, that turns into 607,000 chariots. And then let's double it once again, which after only one cycle takes us from producing 1,640 chariots every cycle to 1.2 million. And just like that, we've made 5 quadrillion swords at 32 trillion per second currently. I just wish we could actually choose what to do with the swords, because I've got some monks that need some murdering. But I'm going to let this run for about a week or so and see how big the numbers get.